What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 8 of the Mojo MMA show. I'm your host, Mo, with my co-host, Joe. Today, we're going to go over UFC 297 recap. We're going to go through the middleweight rankings and see what the division's currently at. Then we'll go on to talk about what we think about Holloway versus Gaethje and Proier versus Saint-Denis. And then we're going to go over our most feared fighter in each division. All right, Joe. So first pay-per-view of the year, and we have two title changes. One that goes from nothing to something, and one change of hands. What did you think of the first pay-per-view of the season?
It was pretty good, actually. I didn't think it was as bad as what everyone else thought it was going to be. There's a couple fights that got kind of slept on by the Canadian crowd. But besides that, there was some pretty weird controversy that kind of happened in all the fights and some of the fights.
Yeah, maybe the reason the crowd was out of it was because, you know, the stat?
The what?
Canadian men, their record on this card? They went 0 for 7.
Oh, nice.
All 7 of them lost. You know what the funny thing is? In the beginning of the night, when Malcolm X, what's his last name? Malcolm X, what's his last name?
Gordon?
I think so, yeah, Gordon. When he lost his fight, well, I was telling myself, if he wins this fight, I want to put a parlay on all Canadian men to win. And then when he lost, I was like, fuck it, might as well put it on all of them losing. But that was just a dream. But damn, imagine that. What that would have catched, yeah. Especially because Canadians their odds go up when they're fucking fighting in Canada, because they did really good last time. But I mean, the Canadians didn't do too bad this time. The main one that there's so many fights to get into. We might as well. I was gonna do the main card, but damn, let's get into some of these that we enjoyed. Like the first one I can think of is Jasudavicius versus Priscilla Cachoeira. Oh my gosh, she demolished her the entire fight. And golly, I told you when this fight first started that Priscilla shouldn't be in the UFC. She was punching like this, with throwing her shoulder with her fucking hand. Yeah. It looked terrible the entire time. They went to the ground, she ragdolled her, and then they got back up. And she had her chances in there anyways, because both of their defenses were so sloppy. But offensively, Jasmine was the way better fighter.
Yeah, I had really high hopes for Jasudavicius after she beat Miranda Maverick. And then she went on and got beat down by Tracy Cortez. But yeah, everything you said is pretty accurate. I didn't really pay too much attention to that fight, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a pretty good one. Next one that was a good one was and had a little controversy, was the Charles Jourdain versus Sean Woodson fight. That was so funny at the ending. I thought it was a decent fight, not the funnest fight, and not what we're used to with Sean Woodson. You know, I guess maybe because there was a lot of wrestling involved. But I clearly heard Sean Woodson the first time. And so I started walking away from the TV, and I look back, and Charles has his hand raised, and I'm like, what the fuck? What just happened?
Yeah, no, that was kind of funny. The first thing I heard, I had to replay it to see what they actually said. I could have swore they said Charles both times. Charles Woodson. I thought they said Charles Woodson. And I looked over at Savannah, and I was like, what the hell did they just say? And then both of them were just looking at each other. And I was like, one guy's name's Charles, and the other guy's name's Woodson. And then, yeah, he kind of got screwed the fans over, too. It was kind of funny.
He was like, yes, yes. And then they told him, and he was like, what? Oh, but it was like, and you're a winner. Shh. And he fucking held that shh, and you couldn't tell if it was a SH or a fucking CH.
Yeah, his wrestling defense definitely surprised the hell out of me. And his boxing has always been good. I didn't think the tear that Charles Jourdain has been on, I thought for sure he was going to dominate this fight. Especially because Sean Woodson had a little bit of a tough time with Bazookia, his last fight. But Sean Woodson definitely came to fight. He looked really good. And Charles Jourdain just didn't have a good night.
Yeah, and Sean Woodson also is on a good run record-wise, you know, winning all his fights. But to open the main card, Arnold Allen loses a decision. I think it was 29-28 to Movsar Evloev, who stays undefeated. I heard a lot of people talking shit about this fight, but this is probably one of my favorite fights of the night.
Yeah, I don't know why people were talking shit on this fight and then the next fight, because this fight was crazy good. These guys were both, neither of them quit until quit to the end. Neither of them, both of them got rocked. In that third round, it was crazy that they stopped the fight for that. That's such a dumb rule.
I don't like that rule either. Yeah.
I hate that rule, especially because fighters will just use it. They just like dangle their hand on the ground. And Dominic Cruz was saying, I think it was Dominic Cruz was saying that it has to be load bearing, and he was definitely not load bearing on that hand. He was just dangling it down so he didn't get kneed. And Arnold Allen picked his arm up and kneed him. So that I don't know if the fight really would have turned around, but he had him hurt. He had him cut bad, and he obviously had him pretty rocked because it took him a few minutes to get back in the fight.
Yeah,
so that pissed everyone off.
But that's fucking badass that he kept going. He could have just took the easy way out. But yeah, I definitely think I don't know what the rule is. I originally thought the rule was regardless 2 hands, and then I know some states had it 1 hand. But yeah, I like that if they were to use that load bearing rule, because if you're on the ground and you're getting up, or you definitely shouldn't be getting kneed in the head. But I mean, if you're just put your hand down to avoid getting kneed, that's bullshit. Yeah. But I mean, shit, let's say those were legal, he still won the fucking fight, regardless if they were legal or illegal. And the thing is that I hate about, maybe this is why they hated it, was the wrestling, but I hate stalling wrestling. And his is definitely not stalling. He's always going for a takedown, always going for a submission, And even if he just continues to grapple, like, he's trying his fucking best. At times he would pick him up and like ragdoll him, but Arnold Allen's wrestling defense was so good that he's able to get back to his feet.
Yeah, what do you think's next for Arnold Allen now? Because he's only lost to maybe Movsar Evloev. He could arguably be one of the top guys in the bantamweight division, or the featherweight. Oh man, the featherweight division. So I mean, he's entitled. He's in talks for the title right now, and then Arnold Allen's in a weird spot where he can't beat Max Holloway, and he just lost to the number 5 guy. So I thought that Yair Rodriguez would be a really good fight, but he's already scheduled to fight Brian Ortega, and that's a really good fight in itself. I wanted one of those two to fight Arnold Allen next. Maybe the winner or the loser of that fight, I think, would be a good fight for Arnold Allen next.
The loser. Yeah, but Arnold Allen, like, this is why I was betting on him, was because he's good. He is good, Coming up, beat. Let's just start at this fight, Sadiq Yusuff, which is a pretty good fight. It like Sadiq Yusuff's even getting better now, and that win is aging well. He beat Calvin Kattar, who's been at the top of the division for how long, and Dan Hooker too. So I mean, these are all great wins, and he runs into Max Holloway, one of the greatest featherweights of all time, top 3 featherweight all time, and then Movsar Evloev, undefeated, top of the division right now. So I mean, you can't knock him too hard. I think he's gonna get back up, and I mean, I think anyone below Movsar Evloev is a very winnable fight for him.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to this next fight. Your fight of the night that you called before the card even started: Chris Curtis versus Marc-Andre Barriault.
That fight wasn't bad. I don't know why everyone's hating on that fight, especially the ending. You look at this total strikes landed in a 3-round fight for both these guys. Chris Curtis landed 144 strikes, and Marc-Andre Barriault landed 124 strikes. So I mean, they were all hitting each other with everything they got. The only thing that I guess that people were hating on them for is it didn't look like they were kind of throwing them as hard. I don't know. I guess that the fans didn't think that they were slinging them as hard as they could and like they thought was going to happen. But Chris Curtis is more of a counter striker anyways. And Barriault didn't really bring the fight to him the way he has other people at other times. But I mean, the fight was really good. It ended super good too. It reminded me that the fight with I think it was Don Fry, the Don Fry fight where they clinched each other and they just punched each other like that. They ended in a clinch, just hitting each other in the body. You could hear the body strikes on the TV. I thought it was a great fight, and I think they got the decision right for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think it was a great decision too. It was Don Fry versus it was that Asian guy. What's his name?
Yeah, I don't know his name. I'm not gonna try to guess either.
Tamayaki.
Let's guess what it is. Actually,
it's close. It's. I want to say, who's that one other guy? Oh, I can't even.
Takanori?
It's not Takanori, but yeah, that's who I'm talking about. The other guy. I'm pretty sure his name's something like that. Anyways, regardless. Next
Something
fight.
like that. Okay.
This was my favorite fight. Like this made the card for me. Neil Magny versus Mike Malott. I think we learned a lot in this fight about both fighters. Neil Magny, regardless of the win, he's looking bad. He's like, yeah. After that Ian Gary fight, like this fight, he just came into it so slow. Like, and usually he starts slow in the first, but he definitely picks it up. But in this one, it didn't happen until the third. You know, he was just getting his ass beat in the first, ass beat in the second, and in the third, he was getting his ass beat, and then he ended up getting No, actually, the third wasn't that much of an ass beat. It was pretty close, and then he found a way. But you could tell he was fucking exhausted going into that third round. His punches were coming out so slow, and it just looked like, fuck, I'm so tired. But he ended up not quitting and just kept throwing. And Mike Malott fucking panicked, and I don't know if he gassed himself out too, or he just got rocked in that fight. But he was definitely, that was his fight to win, and with 15 seconds left, he just couldn't keep going.
Yeah, I didn't see how Mike Malott would beat him so easily before the fight. And during the fight, I think he proved that he is a really good fighter. He is nearly as good as what everyone thought he was, but it was just literally like a last minute mistake. If he would have just, I guess, stalled a little more for that third round, I don't know with Magney, because it's hard to stall with Magney, but I was surprised because everyone was talking shit on Magney, and I was like, man, Magney's not a bad fighter. And then he went out there and fought a bad fight and then won the last minute, and I was like, well, shit. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, like he's fucking 15 seconds close to being like imagine what this win does for him, you know? But yeah, 15 seconds short. Hopefully they look past those 15 seconds and give him another good fight. I'd hate to see him back down fucking fighting. Not top 15 guys. All right, and we go to our first title change. Raquel Pennington wins a unanimous decision against Mayra Bueno Silva. What'd you think of this fight?
the weirdest introduction I've ever seen in my life. Whenever Bruce Buffer was introducing Silva, I was weirded out. I don't know why. But you see the way she got into it, and the way, I don't even know, her facial expressions.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
Literally, those were my thoughts exactly. I was watching it and I was like, what the fuck is she doing? Because before he even came over, she was already staring at him real weird. And then she's
yeah.
And
she's like, she looked like she's ready to mate.
Gosh, that bitch gassed herself out though. Right there. Oh my gosh, at the end of the fight, she had nothing left. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, second round sub all the way. No way she doesn't win second round sub. And then she almost gets it in the first, and I'm like, oh shit. Like, you know, she's right there. One more round and she'll get it. And then second round, she still looked good, but once that third round came, she had nothing left in her. And one thing I want to say about Raquel Pennington, she's a pretty good striker, but it's crazy. For how long she's been in the UFC, you hear the commentators like, hey, just do this and the fight's over. Do this and it'll get tighter. Do this and she doesn't try any of that. And it's like what's going on with you this many years in your career, fighting for a title and your technique's not solid?
Yeah. Yeah, she won with heart alone. She had really good cardio. She had very good cardio and yeah.
All right, so let me ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you a question about our main event ex-champion, about something he said about that nobody wants to watch women's MMA. What do you think about that?
Oh. Yeah, let's get into the main event. Sean Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis. Another title change.
I think that one I think that fight was fun. I had fun watching it. It was back and forth, and a lot of people talk about, oh, it's sloppy and this and that. I mean, with all the shit people are talking about Dricus, it's so funny. Like, people will say stuff like, hold on, give me 1 second.
You gotta see what people.
We're good. No, I thought I messed up the video. No, but
you lost your note.
No, I was making sure the video is good. All right. Anyway. Yeah, no, don't worry about it. Anyways, fuck, I lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
Oh, you're saying that, I don't remember what you're saying. I wasn't listening.
Oh, that people say that Dricus doesn't have good. He doesn't have good wrestling. He doesn't have good striking. He doesn't have a lot of power.
Yeah, he's sloppy.
He's sloppy, but He finds a way to get it done every time. And against Robert Whitaker, I was hoping that was just a fluke and that Sean showing his dominance over fucking Adesanya, that this would go differently. And honestly, I scored it that way. I scored Sean Strickland winning this one. How did you have it?
Obviously, I had Sean Strickland winning it. But I'm not going to complain a bunch because it was a really good back-and-forth fight. And I see what the judges saw. They saw Dricus pressuring him the whole fight because that's what he does. He pressures because he goes for the win at all points of the fight. But Sean Strickland's defense is just overlooked completely. If you watch like the first and second round, all the calf kicks he checked and how frustrated he made Dricus, I think in the second or third round, you notice a switch to where Dricus du Plessis just didn't care about the defense, Sean Strickland's defense anymore, and that's when he started landing more. But he also started landing more whenever he headbutted the shit out of Strickland and cut him. But besides that, I mean, he went for the win the whole time. I definitely scored the fight for Sean Strickland. And same with the Cannonier fight. I think the judges just see the pressure and the punches thrown, not the punches landed, but the punches thrown, and they don't appreciate the defense of Sean Strickland. Like, I think the defense of Strickland definitely there needs to be some way of scoring, like leg check, like all the checked leg kicks, calf kicks. He checked all those, and those have to hurt. And I mean, the first round, so the way I saw it is there's 3 rounds that were very decisive the whole fight. The first, the fifth, and the fourth. Sean Strickland won the first and the fifth 100%.
Yes.
Dricus won the fourth 100%. And then the second and third were really close. But I believe it was the second round. I gave him the second and the third round. And same thing. Yeah, I mean, maybe one of the rounds because I'm a Strickland fan, I probably gave to him. I edged to him, but I'm looking at his defense. I'm watching his defense. I'm watching how much punches are landed and just his technique alone. And Dricus is just pressuring him, I guess, octagon control, and then the takedowns. He got a couple takedowns. He didn't do anything with the takedowns, so it depends on how you score that. But
I hope they're not scored well. I hate empty takedowns. Like if you get up immediately, it's like it's like a strike landed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the thing is with the John Jones fight, the judges scored that fight for John Jones with Dominic Reyes, and it was kind of a similar fight almost, except for the fact that Reyes definitely didn't definitively win the belt, and I don't think Dricus definitively won the belt. It came down to a split decision, and it was 3 rounds. 2 rounds up in the air. And they gave both those rounds to Dricus. And it was just, I don't know, I didn't find it very, I don't know, something was weird about it.
I feel that way too. I wish it was scored like that the challenger has to definitively beat the champion, you know? But, I mean, when it comes down to it, what the criteria says is basically just like it's a normal fight, and whoever you think wins 3 rounds to 2, you know, is the winner. But congrats to Dricus. What's next? What's next for this middleweight division? What's next for the champ?
The only reason why I'm not super pissed off, because I was really pissed off whenever Sean Strickland lost to Cannonier, because he definitely beat Cannonier that fight. Just not definitively enough, I guess. But I'm actually excited that du Plessis won, because if he fights Adesanya and his styles match up perfectly. Either that fight is going to go horribly bad for du Plessis, or it's going to be a damn close fight. And I don't think, I mean, you see all the fighters that are similar to du Plessis that du Plessis didn't fight, like Marvin Vettori. He kind of reminds me of Marvin Vettori, except opposite. Marvin has good wrestling and decent striking, and du Plessis has really good striking and decent wrestling. But I mean, I think that since everyone doesn't want to give Sean Strickland the rematch in a razor-thin close decision, because nobody wants to give him the rematch, I would say the rematch, but I don't want to see the rematch because I want to see Adesanya take the belt from him and then Strickland go up and take the belt back again.
So I saw 3 different polls of what's next for du Plessis, and all 3 of them had Sean Strickland winning by a lot.
Yeah, so, the most accurate one, is it verdict?
No, I'm not talking about scoring. I'm talking about who they want Dricus to fight next.
Oh, and they have Sean
And they had
Strickland.
Sean
They want.
Strickland by a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, the people want Sean Strickland, but for some
So who are
reason
you
the
talking
UFC
about?
is
Oh, UFC.
not talking. Huh? The UFC, the Instagram just posted like Adesanya versus Duplessis. Who wants to see it? And then Dana White in the press conference says, "I had Strickland winning the fight, but we're gonna go ahead and give Adesanya the next title fight." Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, I don't
They need
like
to give
that.
Sean Strickland the rematch so he can get his belt back, and then they don't want to see Adesanya lose to Strickland again because that fight wasn't close. It's 5-0, 5 rounds to nothing. So they want Duplessis to fight Adesanya so that Adesanya can take the belt back, and then they want to probably give Sean Strickland a killer like Kamzat or someone that they think is going to destroy him,
Yeah.
and then, so that they don't have to see that him as champion again. But what should happen is an immediate rematch. And I don't want to see it immediately. I want to see him take a little time off, build up the suspense a little bit.
Yeah, because there's really no one waiting in the wings like 55, 3 people waiting for a title shot. This one, there's no one waiting. And one more thing I want to say about the fight is the damage difference. Once you wipe away Sean Strickland's blood, he looked good. And then if you look at Duplessis, he's still like he looks fucked up.
I had a comment about that too. So the blood on his eye, it was Daniel Cormier's loud ass was talking about like he's like, well, you got to look at damage done, and Duplessis is doing all the damage. I mean, look at Strickland's face. You wipe the cutaway, and then there's no blood, and then it starts bleeding in the middle of the next round. It starts bleeding, and then the judge is like, oh, he got a cut. He got another cut. It's the same damn cut bleeding. He just got the Vaseline like wiped off or probably punched off.
It was a bad.
And then you look at Duplessis' face, it was just dots everywhere, cuts everywhere. And then Strickland had a cut here and a cut here on top of his head. One of them was a headbutt, one of them was probably an elbow or something. I don't know I don't know which one got the top of his head. But the when they were fighting and he had the blood running down his face, I thought it looked pretty badass.
Yeah, maybe
that was pretty cool.
Maybe if he had a better cutman, he'd still be champ.
Yeah, I think so. And one more thing. The middleweights, Cannonier is the one who's in the waiting. And I don't know if they want to see Cannonier versus Duplessis would be an amazing fight.
That'd be fun.
That fight would be fucking crazy. Like, I think that would be a really good fight, but all the speculation is around Adesanya because motherfucker's coming back in 2027 apparently. And then they're going to bring him back to UFC 300 to fight a guy who can't fight for the next 6 months because Sean Strickland diced his face up.
Yeah, one rumor that I did hear was Alex Pereira said one more time at middleweight wouldn't be bad. So just imagine.
That motherfucker's going to fight everyone.
Thinking of a
UFC 300.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He's talking about 3 times 30 times 300. He's talking about 3 fights at UFC 300.
Yeah. UFC 300 should just be strict. What the fuck am I saying?
Pereira
should be Pereira for the top 3 fights. And it'll be versus Adesanya. He'll knock him out, and then he'll knock out Duplessis, and then we'll see what happens with the Aspinall fight.
Oh, fuck with the Aspinall fight. Yeah, I forgot about that. But Pereira versus Duplessis, I would fucking love to see that. I wish we would have seen it before. I think it goes the same way Pereira versus Strickland went.
Yeah, probably.
I loved how
that went. Duplessis gets hit a lot. And Pereira, if he lands, you go to sleep.
All right, so this division, there's 0 people waiting in the wings for me personally. I don't think Cannonier's earned the title shot definitively. But
you don't remember Cannonier's last fight?
That doesn't matter what his last fights are. Anyways, one division that there is a fucking logjam is 55, and we have 2 huge ones coming up. And fucking, I guess whoever has a better fight is gonna get the title shot. But we have Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. What a fucking banger, huh?
I don't even know what to say. It's a crazy ass good fight, but I hate this matchup because every UFC fan loves Gaethje and they love Holloway. There's no one that hates either of these guys. They're the 2 best guys in their division, that most lovable guys. Like, I'm saying, like, when they fight, people watch their fights, and they're great fights. They've not ever had a bad fight.
100%. Yeah.
And they're making these motherfuckers fight each other, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it either. Yeah, fuck. I think this is the first time we're ever going to see Max Holloway fucking knocked down and knocked out. Because Justin Gaethje is like a bad motherfucker. Like, if you pair up Max Holloway with anyone else, if you just look at the way when he fought Poirier fucked him up twice. and they were
Yeah.
like definitive. It wasn't like a close fight. No, Poirier whooped his ass, and Gaethje just knocked out Poirier. And I think if Poirier and Gaethje fought 10 times, it'd probably be 5-5 or 6-4 Gaethje's way, you know. And yeah, I don't like this for Max Holloway at all.
Yeah, I think everyone's sleeping on Justin Gaethje's his style. His recent fights have showed that he has much better defense and far better striking and cardio. So this fight is a fucking someone's gonna die in this fight. It's gonna be bad. Like Holloway has so much. He has very good pressure and good boxing, but I think he gets hit more than
A lot.
I don't know what the statistic was, but he gets hit a lot more than most UFC fighters.
Yeah, against fucking almost 40-year-old TKZ. He was he was getting hit, and TKZ doesn't have the power that he used to. But if he did, hey, he might be a fucking champ right now. But
that's a 5-round fight too, right? Am I wrong about that?
Yeah, but I think it ended in the. Oh, you talking about this one?
Yeah. Because if that's a 5-round fight, then this is gonna be a bloodbath.
Yeah, 100%.
Or it's gonna be over. Or it's gonna be a 2-round fight.
Right. This is what we thought of Gaethje Poirier, and we know how that went.
Yeah.
All right, now move over to Poirier fighting a fucking absolute fucking killer in Benoit Saint-Denis. Like, damn, no one in this division can catch a break because everyone in here is a killer.
Yeah, in my opinion, that fight is even worse than the Holloway Gaethje fight because, fuck, it's such a crazy matchup for Dustin Poirier. What is Dustin Poirier rank? Let me see, just make sure.
I think he's
like
number 3 or 4. Yeah. Let me see.
Oh yeah, he's number 3.
Yeah.
And he's fighting Benoit Saint-Denis. He's number 11. And the number 11 guy is probably the most scary guy in that whole division.
And
he of all 11. The people. Yeah. Oh yeah, he is with Rafael dos Santos. Yeah. Benoit Saint-Denis is a fucking savage. He's a killer. The fight's gonna be fucking crazy. I don't understand why that fight's not on UFC 300. Like, that fight is insane.
Yeah, I know. If they needed to stack it up, this would have been one to fucking put on there. Cause yeah, this.
If that one's a 5-round fight, is it 5 rounds? Oh, it doesn't say.
It's the co-main, so I'd say it's
Hopefully.
likely.
If it's a 5-round fight, there's no chance this fight goes 5 rounds. Oh, no chance at all.
Holloway Gaethje has to be 5 rounds. It's for the BMF belt.
Oh shit, yeah. For a fucking BMF belt, they could just make it an unlimited time.
Yeah, that'd be the rules for that fight.
Yeah. Benoit Saint-Denis versus Justin Poirier. They're both gonna be in the hospital. There's no way that these guys. It's gonna be like Robbie Lawler and.
Yeah, or like Hooker Poirier.
Yeah, they're both gonna be in the hospital. I don't fucking like this fight for Poirier, but Poirier's never lost 2 fights in a row, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. Damn, that's a fucking good one. All right, next. Fuck, there's so many boogeymen in that division, but now we're gonna go over who is the scariest fighter in each division. And let's see, this is your segment. So, do you want to start on the heavyweights or the flyweights?
Start with the scariest division, the flyweights.
All right, who's the scariest fighter in the UFC?
In the flyweights?
Yeah.
So the way I think of the scariest fighter is if I were to be locked in a ring with him, who I would be the most scared to fight? Probably Muhammad Mokaev in the flyweights.
That's who you picked.
Because he would just take you down and strangle you and do whatever he wanted to you. At least Brandon Moreno would be nice enough to kick your head into the stands.
Oh yeah, I had one, but he's gone now. But for me, the scariest fighter in that division for me to fight would have to be Manel Kape.
Oh yeah,
that motherfucker throws bad intentions.
Yeah, he almost knocked out Adesanya at that press conference too. He's a bad.
Yeah, fucking Adesanya got lucky. Wouldn't have been able to make that fight. All right, next division, the bantamweights. Who is your scariest fighter in that division?
For me, this fighter alone, his fight with Jose Aldo, is the reason why I picked Petr Yan. Because what he did to Jose Aldo, I think he took him into 5 rounds or 4 rounds in the body shots he hit him with, and he just like bullied the fuck out of him. It was menacing to watch. It he was just destroying him the whole fight. So it would definitely be Petr Yan.
Yeah, thinking about this, I had 3 different guys in mind. Petr Yan was one of them, but I mean, the way he's looked in his last couple, I don't know. That kind of came down for me. But next guy I thought of was Davison Figueiredo, because that is one scary motherfucker. But the one I ultimately came to was, I guess, your reasoning for the last one. Imagine you being locked in a cage with Merab Dvalishvili.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, this motherfucker's a cardio machine, and I mean, when you're tired, he's still gonna keep going, and fucking 50 minutes into it, he'll still be going. So
Yeah.
that's my fighter. All right, on to the featherweights. I'm gonna lead with this one. I think the scariest fighter in this division is Alexander Volkanovski, the champ. Because I feel like, yes, there's a bunch of killers in here, but when they get to the top, he just demolishes them, all of them. And it's like, you know, like that's what he's doing to killers. And I already know yours. Go ahead, pal.
Who am I gonna say? Ilia Topuria or Josh Emmett?
Yeah, that literally I was down to those two, but I was gonna ultimately say Ilya.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's hard to say just watching Ilia Topuria and Josh Emmett's last couple fights, but after watching not Calvin Kattar, after watching Josh Emmett almost kill one of my favorite fighters, that shit was almost. Oh my god, that was hard to watch. I hated watching that. So I would probably say Josh Emmett.
Yeah.
Even though Josh Emmett got his ass beat by Ilia Topuria, I still the power that he possesses is insane.
Insane for featherweight, especially. That's fucking crazy. I think if Bryce Mitchell would have got knocked out by anyone else, it wouldn't have had that same reaction.
No.
All right, next division, lightweight division. Who you got?
Obviously, I got Justin Gaethje for this one. He's not very. The only thing about Justin Gaethje is he's not like intimidating. Like every time you see like an MMA post, it's always like the guy they tell you to worry about, or the guy you think you should worry about, and who you should really worry about. It's Justin Gaethje. So if you're going off that, if you watch Benoit Saint-Denis stare downs, and like whenever he's face to face with someone, he has the scariest looking fucking demeanor about him of all fighters, almost any fighter I've ever seen, besides probably Pereira and his stone face. But it's between Justin Gaethje and BSD, because I would probably just say BSD alone, just off of his stare downs and how fucking his background.
Yeah, for this one, I'm gonna have to go the lame answer and go champ again. Islam Makhachev is the scariest guy in this fucking division. He'll take you down, beat you. He'll strike and beat you. He'll knock you out. That guy's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Right, next, we'll go to the welterweights. Who is the scariest fighter in this division?
Scariest. Someone with the most intimidating looking face, the most intimidating style, the craziest press conferences.
Remember the name.
Stephen Thompson.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. Not Steve. But Stephen Thompson, imagine what he did to Kevin Holland. You could just imagine what he would do to a normal person. He would fucking destroy you'd probably piss blood, shit blood for 6 years. That guy would kill you. But obviously, I gotta go with Shavkat.
Yeah, that's mine too. We finally have the same one. A lot of people say his some hype died around him after his last fight, but I don't think so. Yeah, not for me at all. Not for me at all. Like, fuck, this guy still scares the shit out of me. And the same thing with Hamza. A lot of people say his hype died, but shit, not for me. All right, middleweights. Who's the scariest guy? Let's see. I
got an interesting one for this one, because there's not a lot of scary. I was looking at this, and I was like imagining like staring across the cage at someone. Khamzat Chimaev would be scary as fuck, but I'm not gonna put him in there because that's just like the lame thing to do. I would say besides him, Roman Kopylov.
Oh, that's mine.
Yeah, Roman Kopylov. After seeing his highlights of him almost murdering people, I don't remember what fight it was. It was his last fight, or the fight before his last fight. He kicked. It wasn't Josh Fremd. It was before Josh Fremd. He kicked the dude's head so fucking hard, I thought it literally went into the stands.
Yeah.
That was the craziest knockout. One of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, that's the reason I chose him too. And a close second for me was Roman Dolidze. He just looks
Oh,
scary. Yeah, fight scary too. All right, we go to the light heavyweight division, the almost men division. Who you got?
yeah. Definitely Khalil Roundtree. Khalil Roundtree.
Oh, that's a good
After
one.
seeing
Yeah.
what he did to Eric Anders, that was the scariest shit I've ever seen. And whenever you get into the cage with him, it's not like he could just take you down and submit you. He literally bullied Eric Anders for 3 rounds when he could have finished him like 6 times. I think how many knockdowns were there in that fight? If you look at how many knockdowns there were in that fight, I think it was like 5 or 6. He had so many knockdowns in that fight, and then another really good guy who left the UFC was really good and then came back.
Modestus
I forgot his
Bukauskas.
yeah, Modestus Bukauskas. When he kicked it, when he fucking
Oh,
destroyed
knee.
the knee,
Yeah.
and he was screaming, that shit was crazy. And how he's so, I don't know, his demeanor, like after he knocks people out, he just sits there and he breathes.
Or
It's like he's
when he just knocked out Anthony Smith.
yeah, and he just sits there and he like there's something going on in his head that he literally is like ready to murder someone when he gets in there.
Takes their soul. Yeah, that's
Scary
one
fuck.
scary motherfucker. But who I landed on, lame answer or not, was Magomed Ankalaev. He
Oh,
has
yeah,
a
he's
scary Dagestani look, and then that motherfucker's striking is insane. So I
yeah.
would not want to be locked up in a cage with that guy.
Yeah, and it's like he can't lose. There's some guys in the UFC that I've like over the years noticed that they have like an aura around them that they cannot lose. And Magomed Ankalaev is one of those guys. Another one for me was Petr Yan back like 3 years ago. Petr Yan, whenever he beat the California kid and he beat the shit out of fucking uh, Jose Aldo,
Yeah.
I thought there was not a single fighter that would come close to beating him.
Yeah, he was fucking whooping everyone's ass, and then he fucking went on a skid after the greatest bantamweight of all time beat him. So,
Yeah.
all right, now we get to the men, as we call them, the heavyweights.
Yeah. I'm sure we both got the same one for this one.
I don't know. Maybe mine's changed. What you got?
Sergey Pavlovich.
No, yep, that's still mine. I mean,
Yeah.
even with him losing, I don't care. Just look at him. You see that video of him training in the cold? Like he went down some stairs into like a frozen lake.
No, I didn't see it.
And then he comes out, he's like, whoa! Or have you seen the beach video of him just fucking shadow boxing?
Oh yeah.
And his hands are fucking
Yeah.
moving a fucking 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah. Imagine cutting him off in traffic and then pulling over and he gets out of the fucking car.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And
I would,
not only does he fucking strike good, but he's fucking massive. Dude's fucking huge. Big
I'd
and
fucking
thick.
unlock the van door before I got out of the car with that guy.
Yeah, fuck that. Hell no. Yeah, but I mean, this division is obviously full of killers. It's the fucking heaviest man in the world. But I mean, he makes everyone else even. I'd rather get locked up with the guy that knocked him out, Tom Aspinall.
Yeah.
Fucking fight that guy.
Yeah. Especially because what he would do to an average person. An average person, like what he does to like great fighters, and then imagine an average person.
Yeah, my nose would be inverted if he fucking landed one screw on me.
I'd beat the shit out of him though.
All right, I'll make sure. I'll make sure to get that to him. All right, pal. Good episode. You have anything else to leave?
No
fights this weekend, which
yeah, that's fucking suck.
Yeah,
and then the fights next week aren't like spectacular. There's one really good fight on that card though, but
yeah, no, they're saving all these good fights for these fucking pay-per-views coming up. And once we get to them, it's gonna be good. February 17th is. Oh my gosh. Yeah, like just imagine one of these fights on any of these fucking little not pay-per-view, but fight nights. Whitaker, Costa, Volkanovski, Topuria, Gary, Jeff Neal, Dvalishvili versus Cejudo, and then Fluffy Hernandez versus Kopylov.
Oh my god. That's insane. What about I'm predicting fight of the year, one of the fight of the year candidates. Fernando Moicano and Drew Dober.
Yeah.
That's the next fight card. I'm predicting that's going to be one of the fight of the year candidates.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be up there. But Kopylov over, not over, but fighting Fluffy Hernandez. That's my prediction.
Oh my god. Yeah, I
That
want to see. We should do like a tally. See who after the fights, which fight is going to be better, or which fight was better for
yeah,
fight of the year, or more of a fight of the year candidate. Renato Moicano, Drew Dober, or Kopylov, Fluffy Hernandez.
yeah, we'll do it. And I also want to add one more thing: the odds for Jeff Neal versus Ian Gary. Do you remember what they were the first time?
No, but they're probably not fucking good for Jeff Neal.
No, last time Jeff Neal was plus 300. Right
Yeah,
now,
I think
Jeff Neal's plus 100 something.
that's bullshit.
I
That
don't know.
pisses me off.
I don't know how Ian Gary beat the fuck out of Neil Magny after his fight with
Yeah.
Jeff Neal gets canceled and his odds go down. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck
I
happened.
I was so excited for the first Jeff Neal fight when he was that big of an underdog.
Yeah, that literally I was gonna throw so much cash on it because I'm so confident in that. But damn, people caught on, I guess, and hopefully it fucking does go that way. Cause
Oh, I really hope Jeff Neal finishes this guy off.
just imagine this. Listen to this. Ready? Okay, ignore the first one. Imagine Marab beats Cejudo, Ian Gary wins, Robert Whitaker loses again, and then I don't think you care about who wins Volk to Proier, but yeah, that'd be a sad night.
Yeah. Oh my god, if Robert Whitaker loses to fucking it's Costa he's fighting Paulo Costa?
Yeah.
Paulo Costa, he's pissing me off lately. He's fought like one time in the last 16 years.
Yeah, he's been pulling out a lot, but
a lot of fights would be good with him too. There's a lot of fighters you can put against him and it would be a great fight.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Fun episode. 40 minutes
All
into
right.
it. I'll catch you next week.
All right.
All right, goodbye.
Goodbye.